Hi, I'm Professor Louise McHugh, and I am the Director of the Contextual Behavioral Science Lab at University College Dublin, or the UCD CBS Lab. Um, we are in the CBS Lab, a team of researchers, master's students, PhD students, and myself, who work together to look at the alleviation of human suffering or the enhancement of human well-being. We're particularly interested in understanding how we can help people change behavior when they want to, in ways that they might want to increase or decrease patterns of behavior. So we might want to increase something like studying or decrease something like smoking. And we're particularly interested in helping people to change their behavior or understand evidence-based approaches to changing behavior in looking at the context in which the behavior occurs. So we're interested in understanding the situation where the behavior occurs. And when we can understand that, then we can help people to be able to change that situation or context, to be able to help them change the behavior. And sometimes the context of our behavior that we want to change is the feelings or the thoughts that we have. And in that regard, we like to help people change the context or their relationship with their thoughts and feelings. So we have a number of different projects, research projects that we're currently looking at, and some of the areas that we're currently actively doing research in are ruminative thought, how to help people follow the rules when it's useful and not when it's not, looking at stress management in chronic conditions, and a whole host of other topics. So what you're going to see now in this short is a few examples of the research being conducted by researchers in the lab at the moment.
Hey, I'm Alison Stapleton, part-time procrastinator, part-time workaholic, and knowledge transfer extraordinaire here in the UCD School of Psychology. My PhD research focuses on rule-governed behaviour in accordance with relational frame theory. You know, the extent to which behaviour is under the control of two sets of contingencies, one of which includes verbal antecedent. No, I'm messing. Basically, I'm looking at how we conceptualise rules and factors impacting whether we follow rules. So, for example, even if an authoritative figure tells you that injecting disinfectant may kill COVID-19, you're unlikely to attempt this if it's incoherent with your relational network. I'm proud to be a member of the UCD CBS Lab. It's given me not only endless support and guidance, but the confidence to be my best academic self without sacrificing authenticity.
Hi, I'm Madison Gamble, born of the swamps in Lafayette, Louisiana. I'm a lab noob, professional fire slinger, and data nerd. My PhD research focuses on synergizing psychotherapeutic and behavioral economic techniques to improve the motivational impact of public health messaging. Basically, I'm looking at messaging and perennial and societal challenges, such as vaccine hesitancy, decarbonization, and other things mentioned in this agenda. For example, loss-framed messages can be persuasive, but often only temporarily because they rely on extrinsic motivational factors external to one's values. So, if I frame it as failure to join a lab will result in a severe lack of crack for your postgrad studies, then you'd likely join the CBS lab out of fear, making you less likely to stick around. But if I said that joining the CBS lab will improve your postgrad crack, you're more likely to join, stick around, and enjoy yourself, because postgrad crack is something you value. I'm proud to be a member of the UCD CBS lab. I found a home with a supportive and inspiring team and a place to distinguish myself and be myself while doing values-consistent work.
Hey, it's Joseph Lavelle here from the UCD School of Psychology. You might remember me from that YouTube series where I tried to snap away your procrastination using my finger guns. My PhD focuses on brief and chatbot delivered acceptance and commitment therapy interventions to reduce stress in people who have an inflammatory bowel disease. And something I've been working on quite a lot over the last few years is how best to communicate my findings through the power of cinnamon rolls. I love being part of the UCD Contextual Behavioral Science Lab because it's allowed me to combine my commitment to helping others around meaningful behaviour change with my interest in research, and it's also allowed me to get involved in really amazing collaborations and meet some of my closest friends.
Hi, Greg Steins is my name, and I am a PhD student in the School of Psychology in UCD. The research area that I'm interested in relates to shame and self-stigma. So we know that within society, there are unfortunately many groups who are recipients of stigmatized attitudes. People, for example, with different skin colors, different sexual orientations, different physical and mental health conditions, different religions, and so on. And if we internalize these attitudes or do something shame-provoking, there can be detrimental effects on our psychological health, our quality of life and well-being, and various aspects of our functioning in general. I'm interested in looking at the contribution contextual behavioral science can have in supporting people deal with these experiences and ultimately to lead the life that they wish to lead. For me, being connected with the CBS lab in UCD has really helped to expose me to new ideas. It's increased my learning and it's provided me with great support from others on a similar journey.
Hi, I'm Shayna. I'm doing a part-time PhD. I also work in diversity and inclusion with global teams in the tech industry. I'm looking at implicit biases. These are the automatic mental shortcuts that we use to process information and make decisions. So to understand this, press pause and read this paragraph. So what you're seeing here is that more information comes from inside our mind to influence how we perceive the world, which is fine with words, but can be a problem when it comes to how we perceive other people. So I'm looking at mindfulness interventions, how this impacts cognitive verification, this is the extent to which we believe our thoughts are a true reflection of reality, and how this in turn impacts implicit biases. And I'm delighted to be doing it with the CBS lab because I thought I would be in a darkened room by myself, but their support and the accountability and their camaraderie is priceless.
Hi everybody, my name is Carolina Leão and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my research project, Acting on Repetitive Negative Thinking. This research project is a collaboration among our lab in UCD and researchers in São Paulo and Colombia. So this research will be ran in Ireland and in Brazil, and all the results of both countries will be compared in a transcultural analysis. So with this project, we aim to develop a brief online intervention that can be delivered in different cultural contexts. We aim to test the efficiency of an existing ACT intervention, and also we want to expand the understanding about R&T patterns. So how to keep up with this research? You can find us on Open Science Framework, or you can follow me on Twitter. Thanks a million.
Hey there, I'm Lisa and I'm currently finishing a master's in clinical psychology. I was born very curious, which is why I've always tried every disparate activity from high altitude hiking to scuba diving. My constant curiosity is reflected also in my studies, and that's why my areas of interest range from clinical to positive and health psychology. However, philosophy of science related to the study of human behavior grabbed my attention, which led me to join the UCD CBS lab and get to know more about true governed behavior and the core concepts of acceptance and commitment therapy. This experience is helping me better identifying my academic interests, and it's a pleasure to be part of this team.
Hi, I'm Luke Mather. I'm currently completing the Masters in Psychological Science in UCD, which is keeping me very busy. I am also currently pursuing entry into a clinical psychology doctorate course in Ireland. Within contextual behavioral science, I have a special interest in the self. Specifically, I'm interested in the different ways we relate to ourselves and how this impacts upon well-being and psychopathology. My favorite thing about being a member of the CBS lab in UCD is that I'm surrounded by people who are interested in producing research aimed at reducing human suffering and enhancing the human experience.